Welcome to Calm Your Crazy. I'm Kiana Lambert, and tonight we are talking more about reality creation, consciousness, the observer effect, your nervous system frequency, and trust. So I sound a little congested because I'm having allergies tonight, so I am all stuffed up. But that's just a sidebar to let you know that the reason I'm having a histamine response and inflammation is because it's my daughter's birthday and I had some of her cake. When you eat things that are not for you, it causes inflammation in your body because your body's a filtration system. So that's why I'm suffering the consequences, and I don't do it very often. So anyway, back to the show. The reason we are talking about all these things, reality creation, consciousness, the observer effect, nervous system frequency, trust, is because they are all connected. And this is the mechanism for change. So you're going to have some people out there that are teaching nervous system regulation, which is great. But if you regulate your nervous system and you don't change your thoughts and rewire your brain and the way that you think about yourself, then you're not going to be successful long term. It's not going to be sustainable. Why do I know this? Because I tried everything for 5 years, and what I teach is the only thing that worked for me. And I believe in it so much that I am teaching this so that people can have this for themselves, because it's really what is needed. So other people can teach rewiring the mind, but if they don't teach nervous system regulation, then you're constantly going to be battling in the mind. It's never going to stop. And what I teach is sustainable, and the rumination and all of that, it changes. It goes away. How do I know? Because it did for me. So everything that I teach is what worked for me and what I did research on using myself and my body for the last 5 years. So if you don't understand how all of it works together, you're going to spend a lot of time feeling like you're doing something wrong, when in reality, you're exactly where you need to be. And I used to hate hearing that, but it's true, because you are on this journey and you are figuring things out. You're playing this game in the simulation, and you're exactly where you need to be at every point in time to find out what's coming next for you and how you're supposed to solve it. So the first thing that you need to understand, and people that have been listening to the show for a while will know this already, so this is going to be repeat for you. But if you're new to this, you've been creating reality this whole time. You just didn't have the awareness of what you were actually doing. So most people think that they start creating reality when they learn about consciousness. They think that they begin creating reality when they discover manifestation, or they start learning about frequency, quantum mechanics, spirituality, or the observer effect. But it's not true. You create reality your entire life, from before you were born until now. The difference is that you were doing it unconsciously. And when you're aware that you're creating reality, when you're unaware that you are the one that's creating reality, you are subject to subconscious programming and the patterns of your past. You're creating from beliefs that you didn't choose, not consciously. So you choose this story arc of kind of what you plan to do when you're coming here. And some people choose to create a story arc like me, where you want to raise consciousness of humanity. So you come in and you learn all this stuff and you go through all this stuff so that you can teach it and help other people that are on your same frequency. Or you can just come here and play. There are infinity reasons for coming here and creating this experience for yourself. So you create this kind of story arc for what you're going to experience. So you didn't actually consciously choose as your avatar, but your consciousness chose that for you. So as your avatar, you didn't actually choose those things. So your avatar is operating off subconscious programming, which is everything that you have experienced from the time you were conceived until now, and it includes your DNA. So you've been creating from the experiences that you didn't understand, the wounds that you never processed, and emotional memories that are still stored within your fascia. And because you don't realize it, you believe reality is happening to you and not the other way around. And if you're listening to this or if you're doing the searching, that's because something shifted and you started waking up and you started observing your life and noticing your patterns, noticing other patterns, noticing that the same things kept coming up for you. Your experiences were the same lessons. You keep experiencing the same fears, relationships, challenges, the same emotional reactions. And eventually, once you've been awakened long enough, you start to notice the patterns that reality isn't random at all. The synchronicities are just coming in too close together. You think and it appears. You say it appears. You're emotional. The weather changes. So reality isn't random. It's reflecting information back to you, from you, to you. It's showing you your frequency, the frequency that you're in. And frequency corresponds to your electromagnetic field. Frequency is not woo-woo. It's math. It's sound. It's emotion. And it corresponds to your electromagnetic field. So reality is showing you your subconscious programming. And the moment you become conscious of that, you realize that you have a choice. And here's an example. Maybe you lack confidence. Maybe you begin noticing that everything that you're creating points back to a wound from your childhood that gave you the belief that you weren't good enough. And every challenge leads back to that trigger, that wound, that feeling that you're not smart enough, lovable enough, worthy enough, not enough. And this is if you're really honest with yourself. If you haven't gotten to the point where you're really honest with yourself, then you're not going to be here. If you're still in a lot of anger, that's anger that needs to be validated and processed before you're going to be able to get here. But if you get here, then you realize how much was belief that had been inflicted on you from your childhood. And when you start becoming aware, you realize every single situation that you created was you creating reality to show you your belief that is inhibiting you from having the life you want and taking the action that you want. So everything that's holding you back is going to come up for you in reality when you are playing the simulation and this game. It's doing it so that you can get through it, so that you can process the wound, the emotion, all of it. And it's not punishment. It's because you want something more. And this is part of the simulation challenge. This is part of the game. It's information. And it's showing you the programming that's been running underneath the surface. And when you see this, this is the moment you realize you have a choice. You are not being shown this to yourself. You're not creating this for you to witness for yourself so that you just do nothing. This is showing you you have choice. It's showing you that you are creating. And when you start seeing your creation, that means that you can now create consciously with choice. And the choice is, do you keep believing the wound? Do you keep believing that you're not good enough, that you lack confidence because you're not good enough? Do you keep believing that story? That's the choice. And you know what your life looks like with that story on board and with you believing it. You know what it looks like. So in that moment, you have a choice to put it down. And when you decide to put it down, your brain will need to put it down, and it will take time and you reinforcing that. But you can start to do it and it will happen. And how do you move on when you decide you want to move on and you don't want it to affect you anymore? And this is something that you may have to do more than once. This is the brain stuff I just said that you would have to repeat. You'd have to be consistent. Studies show it takes 27 days of consistency to rewire your brain. And that is you being consistent for 27 days. And believing it. And really putting your energy towards it. So what do you do for 27 days? How do you get rid of it? How do you let it go? How do you process? Well, you sit with it. So if you don't know what's bothering you, you don't know what's, keeping you from having the confidence, start doing things that require your confidence. And it'll come up quicker than you can blink. People are always like, oh, I will start doing it when I heal, or I'm healing, I'm going to do it after I heal. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to start taking action. And boy, oh boy, will those wounds come up for you. And it is a wonderful opportunity for you to work through them, because that's what you're supposed to do, is take action and let the wounds come up that try to stop you and then work through them. So for 27 days, you are going to have to sit in your body with that wound and that feeling if it comes up when you take action. Or if you don't take action and you're feeling self-loathing or shame, you're going to have to ask yourself where those thoughts are coming from. Where is that shame and guilt coming from? And then believe the first thing that comes up. And when I say the first thing that comes up, if you get it like a memory, a feeling, and you know what it means, like trust it. Trust the thought process that you get. So ask yourself what it means and why you feel this lack of confidence. And remember, I'm just still using this lack of confidence as an example. But ask yourself what it means. And sit in that emotion. Sit with it and let it move through you. And that is an arbitrary thing. And that really frustrates me when I read that or I hear that. And people are like, let it move through you. What in God's name does that mean? Well, I will tell you. Your memory is encoded into your body as emotional frequency. When it doesn't get to complete, it doesn't get encoded. It's frozen in the form of energy in your fascia, and it can hurt you. It can feel stiff, and it can feel not good. And when you sit with the emotion, what you are actually doing is feeling what you should have felt when the wound occurred, just as it was then. And it feels scary, uncomfortable, or whatever else you are feeling in that moment when it comes up and you're sitting with it. You are re-experiencing the urge to run because that's what you did. Your brain ran, it hid it from you, it put it away because it wasn't something that you knew how to deal with as a child, or if you had trauma and it occurred. So you're going to feel like all the things that you felt back then. Your brain running, your body doing whatever it was doing back then, whenever somebody instilled this wound of lack of confidence that you weren't good enough. And believe you me, if you have this wound, it's not that something just happened once. It came up over and over again because beliefs are formed with repetition. So just like you reinstall a new belief system in 27 days, because that's all you're doing, is just reinstalling a new belief system with consistency. So somebody did this in your childhood or you had trauma consistently that created a belief system around your self-worth, and your confidence is directly affected because of it. Everything in your life is directly affected because of your self-worth. So when I teach all of this, I teach the rewiring with the self-worth, because the self-worth is the foundation. If you don't feel good enough to do anything, how are you going to have enough power, energy to go do everything that you're supposed to be trying to change in your reality? You're not. So back to it. That emotional wound was never processed, so you sit with it. The emotion of moving through, when I say let it move through you or let it go or whatever, what you are doing is feeling the wound is exactly as it happened, and you are feeling the emotion in your body and you're letting it complete. So the memory comes up, you're back there again, it feels scary, sit with it, validate yourself, and comfort yourself the way that you needed to have been back then, and process it and explain the emotion to yourself the way it should have been back then. So if you ask yourself what's going on and the memory comes up, the emotion comes up, or whatever comes up, validate yourself. That never should have happened. But that was then, and this is now, and I'm in charge. And I love me. And I take care of me. I'm in control of me. And you have to do this every time it comes up. Now you are going to feel it in your body. It is an emotional wave. So you'll feel it and you'll sit with it. It will crest. So it'll go up and it'll peak in intensity, and then it'll start to ebb and die off until you don't feel it anymore. When it's completed, that is the metabolization of that emotion, that memory, and that wound from when it happened. And you're good. As soon as your nervous system metabolizes it and you process it, you're good. It goes into your memory banks, it goes into your subconscious programming files, and it's completed. It's no longer stuck. You may feel a little bit raw if you cry and you let things go, or if you have big realizations. That's normal. Frequency just got unstuck as energy in your body, and now you feel not tight there in your fascia anymore. So it feels weird, feels raw. That means it's healed. It's like a fresh scar. You can still kind of feel it underneath. It's still kind of pink, but it's healed. Here's the caveat. Yeah, there always is a but, I know. You cannot think when you are feeling. You cannot think. Because when you think, your brain is reliving the moment again, and it's dumping hormones, and you're feeling them, and it's a loop, and then you can send yourself into dysregulation and rumination. You have to feel it. Remember, memories are encoded with emotion and sensations, so you have to feel it. It's not going to complete, metabolize it, and you're not going to move on until you feel it. And you have to feel it and rewire with the validation at the same time. So you ask yourself, what is coming up for you? You get the memory, the sensation, or whatever else. You validate, you talk to yourself, you love on yourself, and you feel without thinking. Let it complete and let it go. That's it. And you need to breathe and breathe when you are doing this, okay? Because what you are doing in this moment is regulating your nervous system and metabolizing something. So we just added another component. You have to breathe. Stretch your belly. Breathe into your belly. Push it out so that you're feeling it. When you focus on your breathing, you're not in your head. You're not thinking. Now, you push that breath into your belly, expand it. Now bring it up into your chest. So you're breathing deep into your belly. Then you want to breathe in some more. Exhale even deeper into your chest and hold it. Hold it. Now I want you to exhale controlled, long, and slow. The longer you exhale, the more you are signaling safety to your nervous system and you're calming down. So we just combined nervous system regulation and breath work with rewiring our mind, getting in touch with our body and processing an old wound, and sitting in our bodies and feeling the emotion as it was back then, expecting and knowing that what we are feeling is not what's happening now, it's what happened back then, and we are feeling it as we are supposed to, processing it and letting it metabolize. So let's go over it again. Step 1. You've got rumination, you've got thoughts or whatever going on. Ask yourself why you're getting these. Ask yourself why it's coming up for you. If nothing is coming up for you but you are feeling that dysregulation in your body, sit in your body and feel it. No thinking. No thinking. Okay? Wait until you're regulated to ask yourself what's going on. If you're dysregulated, rumination, running thoughts, wait to ask yourself what's going on. You're not going to get the answer by thinking, so you're going to have to regulate your nervous system first. So rumination, runaway thoughts, dysregulated, you got to go into your body first and feel first. No thinking, period, end of story, not at all. Only feeling your body and breathing. So this is for dysregulation, rumination. Go into your body, bring your awareness into your heart space, look around for textures, and try to really be present in the moment. Listen with your hearing to see what you can hear. When you start bringing your awareness into your senses, you are not thinking. Your body is your safety net. It's your safety zone. It may not feel like it when you're dysregulated, but it is. Your nervous system just needs to make sure that you are fine, that you are safe, and this is controlling it. So, once you are regulated, here are the steps for moving through the emotion. So you ask yourself why these things are coming up for you. Whatever comes in first, acknowledge it. Comfort yourself, validate yourself the way that you should have back then, and then process it. Tell yourself what really should have happened. Why is it wrong? Nobody tells you how to process. They just tell you to process. Well, processing it is reparenting yourself. So you validate what happened. Nobody validated it back then, so you validate yourself. This is practice on trust, with self-trust. You validate yourself. Never should have happened. You were right. They didn't treat you the right way. You were right. And then reparent and process. Never should have happened, but I'm here now. That was then. This is now. I'm in charge. I'm in control. That's what you do with yourself. And then pull yourself into your body. Start looking at your textures, listening for your sounds. If memories are coming up as far as pictures go, feel it, sit in your body, feel it, sit in your body, feel it. If you're getting pulled into the memory, that's fine. Pull yourself back into your body and feel it. Now bring in the breath. Deep belly breath, expand it, push your belly out. Now inhale even deeper, bring it into your chest. Let your chest expand as far as it'll go and hold. You're stretching your fascia around your diaphragm. You're stretching the fascia in your chest that can feel tight. Now a controlled, slow exhale. If you are focusing on your breath, you are not thinking. This is how you get through the wound. This is how you rewire, and this is how you regulate your nervous system. And this is the choice you get. Whenever you are sitting there and you start to realize that there's a pattern, that is the moment you have choice. And you can start to change things and choose differently. The more that you regulate your nervous system, and the more that you do these exercises when things come up, and you process things, the more that you are going to realize the command and control that you have over your reality. I am watching it every single time we have a meeting in my community. One of my members got some more confidence in herself by using her voice and saying how she felt in the meeting, because she plans to be a healer for her community. But she needs to learn to speak, right? She needs to learn to find her voice. So she decided, I want to be a healer for my community. And then she came across me. Then she joined the community. And now she practices every single meeting speaking up, because her nervous system just needs to be exposed to the fear so that she can metabolize it. And then it's all gravy. That's all it is. It's the nervous system getting used to it. So she started speaking up in the meetings, gained more self-confidence, started having more synchronicities. Things that she wanted, thought of, started coming to her in the physical reality. So when you do this work, when you start challenging your nervous system, meeting your fears, overcoming everything, that's when things change, because you gain more confidence. And confidence is just more self-belief. And what did I say? Your self-worth, your belief about who you are, is your foundation to what you can create. Your belief is directly proportional to what you can create. So the more that you believe in yourself, the more that you can create. And you believe in yourself by overcoming your fear. And you believe in yourself by doing the hard things. That's what happens. So do the exercises. Do these exercises over and over and over again. And start actively choosing. This is something different now. After you do all that work with your nervous system and you process emotions, you have to actively start choosing to be happy. You have to actively hold that frequency, and it's not going to feel normal. It's not going to feel right if you don't know what happiness feels like, or if happiness wasn't safe. A lot of people shame and guilt themselves because they can't be happy, and I beg to fucking differ. If you didn't have sustained happiness for a long period of time, then your nervous system believes that happiness is not sustainable, because that is all you know. So you have to now consciously, as a conscious creator of your reality, show your nervous system that there is a different pattern that needs to be created, that is possible for it. So you hold the happiness, you intentionally look for the happiness, and you intentionally shift your thoughts from where they are to good, to gratitude for who you are, where you are, what you have experienced, even if it's not good. Because you trust yourself and you know that you're having an experience for the consciousness of your evolution. Or for the evolution of your consciousness. Excuse me. I get very passionate and dyslexic at the same time. But if you do this, if you trust yourself and you build the self-trust, your life will change. And when you choose the happiness and you start choosing it consistently, it's 27 days. And if you're scared of happiness, the more that you choose it and expose your nervous system to it, it'll metabolize until happiness is normal. But no more shame and guilt because you feel like you can't sustain happiness. That was then. This is now. When you are a conscious creator, you have choice. When you are subject to your subconscious program and you're unconsciously creating, that's when you have something to worry about. But if you are self-aware and you see the pattern, it's at that point you realize you have the choice. So you can't really go backwards. The only time that you can feel like you're going backwards is if you get hijacked. If your nervous system reacts without your permission, without your awareness, because it feels so unsafe, then you're hijacked. And at that point, you're going to have to calm yourself down and regain control, because your nervous system is reacting without your permission. And this happens quite frequently. If you cannot control your emotions and sit there with them and let them peak and then die down, then they're controlling you. And you have to feel them without the thinking when you're getting hijacked. It's the same thing as rumination. You're just doing it backwards. Your body is hijacked and reacting. And so you've got to sit there and let it calm down. And when I say you don't have control, you will gain control the more that you practice. But in the beginning, you're hijacked. And depending on the level of threat that your nervous system is feeling, you will still get hijacked ultimately, because your nervous system is there to protect you. So it's going to do what it needs to do. But the more that you practice control, the more that you stay in control. And eventually, you probably would never lose control again because you are so practiced. A good example is Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was so controlled with his nervous system. That is why he had such amazing balance, why he could see things so quickly, like they would shoot an arrow at him and he'd be able to catch it, because he was in his body and his nervous system was regulated. When you are in your body, in the present moment and your nervous system is regulated, that's when everything slows down. And that arrow that gets shot at him slows down, and he can catch it out of the air because it slows down for him. When you do this with your nervous system, everything slows down. And if you come from trauma or have ADHD, this is what we do. We go into our bodies as a default because we know that that is where safety is. And you may not feel this way because you dysregulate or you dissociate from trauma. But whenever you are in a pickle, whenever shit starts hitting the fan, you're in your body and you know exactly what to do because it's self-preservation and you are used to it. And your instinct knows that when you are in your body, that's when you are the safest because you can defend yourself. When you are in your mind, you're not aware of your surroundings. You are not aware of what you're doing. You are thinking and your brain's pinging and receiving all this information from all over the place and running all these scenarios and everything else. You are not in your body. That's when accidents happen. So your primary instinct kicks in. You go into your body because that's where safety is. And people say, oh, people with ADHD, yeah, we know whenever stuff hits the fan, we're going to be in our body, like we're good to go. We're calm, cool, collected. Yeah, because you've had to be. And your instinct knows where safety is. So go into your body. It makes a huge difference. So I want to share some examples from my community on people that have regulated their nervous systems and started creating their realities. So I shared this on some of the videos, and I'm sharing with permission, but Mary, one of my first community members, got a house purchased for her. She has never owned a house. She's always rented, and somebody purchased a house for her, and she's moving in as we speak. And she's going to listen to this. So shout out to Mary, Mrs. Johnson. She's an amazing, amazing human being. And her whole lesson, which she brings to our group meetings, is to let somebody help you. You don't always have to do it on your own. You have to be able to be open and vulnerable and accept help. And that was what she needed to learn. And she did. And she got a house. So, excuse me, that is an email. My podcast is growing. I have collectively over 50,000 new followers since December, and I have not done any ads. I block bots. I comment and I broadcast. And when you're authentic and you're really taking action, which I mask a lot in the beginning, like it takes a while for me to get warmed up, and it's still a challenge sometimes. But the more that you're authentic and the more you do it and the more your nervous system acclimates, the more that it grows. So this is just an example of that. So one of my other members has lost 12 pounds and is building and taking action towards building her skincare brand, which if you are an entrepreneur and you've ever done your own business, you know that it's really hard to believe in yourself, to like keep pushing your nervous system to the edge of safety because you have no idea what you're doing, but you're still doing it and going. So this takes an amazing amount of strength. One of my other members finished her abundance module, where we were talking about money and beliefs around limitations of what we can have. And her stock portfolio gained like $200,000 immediately. So that one's pretty good. And in the module, we talk about how there's no difference between $1 and $1 million. It's all the same energy. It's just your belief around it. So that was really cool. One of my other members, that I talked about earlier, found her speaking voice. And as soon as she found her speaking voice, like I was talking about earlier, she started manifesting and getting all these things like that she was thinking about immediately. Because reality reflects you. Oh, and the last one is my artist. Like, one of my community members is a big artist, and she used to live in Los Angeles. And one of her big manifesting things that she wants to create in this reality is having an art show back in Los Angeles. And she lives in the UK. And she was walking by like a shop that became a wine bar, and it was always changing hands, so she's used to seeing that. But this time it was like these green tiles, and she walked by it and noticed it. Well, then she walked by and noticed it on a different day, and thinking, oh, that's weird, somebody else must have bought it. They had Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, like a Halloween store set up, and it had changed, and it was all Day of the Dead themed. And she noticed it because she enjoyed Day of the Dead from her time in Los Angeles. So she was like, oh, well, that's kind of weird that they would have a whole store about the Day of the Dead. But anyway, she went on. Well, the next day it had changed back to the green tile and the wine bar that it was before. So in our meeting, she's like, I'm freaking out. And I said, well, don't freak out. First of all, what did you say that your goal was? To have an art show in Los Angeles, and you're taking a community and modules and lessons and on a frequency of how you create your own reality. So your brain is going to set up everything that you need to learn and everything you need to experience and things that need to come off from the moment you made that decision to the moment that you get there. So you're reflecting to yourself your reality. And I was like, where do you want to have your show? In Los Angeles. And that memory was triggered by seeing the Day of the Dead in the shop. And then it switched back, because it had to switch back to show you that you're the one that's creating it. So it's telling you it's possible, and it can be done as quickly as snapping your fingers. It's the belief, and it's taking action and doing it and believing. So that is one of the biggest ways that I can show you in the more recent things of how you can immediately get results. And everything is you reflecting back to you. So it's all a clue if you know how to see the pattern. And so it was really cool just to show her how this works, because you are creating reality off your subconscious programming. And what's in her subconscious programming? And subconscious programming isn't bad, but what was in her subconscious programming? Los Angeles, Day of the Dead. And she needed to show herself she was the one creating reality to build that belief system and the self-trust and the self-worth as the foundation. So the storefront, she shifted to her consciousness to reality where the storefront was Dia de los Muertos. And then it shifted back to show her she was the one creating it. And the subconscious programming was the Dia de los Muertos to point her towards Los Angeles, because that's where she liked Dia de los Muertos. She fell in love with it while she was there. So she explains all this while she's talking about the story, and I'm able to lead her on the pattern path, which is something that I do with everyone, is when we're talking about things, I show them the pattern that's happening outside and what they're creating. It's very cool. Like, it just gets better and better. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I don't know. It's been amazing. The last few meetings we've gone through so much. It's been, oh my gosh, just seeing everybody change and create their reality is, it's a lot to think about. It's been a heavy week. It sent me into a lot of self-discovery, more self-discovery with self-consciousness. So, anyway, that brings me to the second thing that we're going to talk about tonight, the trust. So we talked about the belief and mirroring things back to yourself and having that self-trust, right? Being the foundation. So we need to work on the self-trust and always trust that you are on the right path, no matter what. Don't ever doubt or vacillate, because that's just going to tick up your nervous system. Whenever you trust yourself, no matter what, it makes your nervous system calmer. And when your nervous system is calmer, you are able to see more options in reality, have more energy to create the reality that you want. So even if you don't feel this, even if you don't feel trust for yourself that you're on the right path, the more that you say it and practice it, then you'll start feeling it, and that will calm your nervous system, which will automatically put you on the right path. So know that you're amazing, know that you are raising your consciousness, and most importantly, you do not need to speak to anybody. You do not need anyone to validate your experience. I had somebody write me and ask me to look at their YouTube channel and see if they were on the right path. And I said, no. First of all, I don't have that kind of time. And second of all, I don't need to. Because the lesson here is that you trust yourself. And if you are creating a YouTube channel for consciousness, then you're doing something and you're going in the right direction. And the only thing that you need to do is trust yourself and not seek validation outside yourself, and know that you are on the right path. Because it doesn't matter. You will find the way every time. And I told them your voice matters to those on your frequency. So the way that you're doing it is the right way. And the more that you trust that, the more that your nervous system will believe you and calm down. And you won't have the rumination, and you won't have as many challenges trying to take action when you trust yourself, okay? So don't talk to other people that are not on your consciousness level. They do not have the brain to be able to access the information you are. It's all frequency and vibration. It's data that you access, just like Wi-Fi. You can't see it, but the data travels through it. It's the same way. Your brain is a receiver of that data. Level of consciousness is a thing. If people are not there, then they won't understand you. And if they don't have your experience of your life, then they will not have the level of consciousness you have. So be very careful when you're talking to somebody, unless you know that they will understand and know what you're going through because they have experienced it themselves. They do not have the level of consciousness needed to understand what you are saying to them. And it will spark fear, because what does your nervous system do? It protects you from the unknown, right? Because, exploration means you need to be careful, so it ticks up. So this challenges other people's nervous system, okay? So don't go around trying to get validation from other people. You're just going to scare them, all right? You are God consciousness having a human experience. You're creating your reality. You don't need validation from somebody else who hasn't reached this level of God consciousness, okay? Period. End of story. And it's totally normal to question yourself, okay? We have been in the simulation. It's taught to us socially from the time that we are born, and that we don't have power, that we're creating this mess and we're reacting to a reality we have no control over. So our autonomy gets taken away by our parents, teachers, doctors, priests, whatever. So you are going to have a lot of moments where you question yourself. As your awareness expands, you're going to have this question. You just need to remind yourself that you don't need anyone else's validation, that your experience is yours, it is specific to you, and that is the only thing that you need to worry about. Whatever anybody else thinks, whatever anybody else cares about is none of your business. It's their business. Your business is to grow your consciousness, do what's right for you, and come back to self without the validation of other people. You can do this. You are growing this for a reason. If you're here listening to it, it's for a reason. You have something that you need from me in this, whatever teachings you're listening to. It will resonate because it will sound louder, or it will stick with you. That's what the resonation does. If it's on your frequency and it means something to you, it will resonate. And if it means something to you and it applies to the situation you are in, you will get a trigger that connects that memory to it. So, you have to combine your Christ consciousness, which is just your body, mind, and spirit, and bring it all together and start working on it all together to do this. It's taken me 5 years. I teach it so that it doesn't take you 5 years. But it's got to resonate. So, remember who you are. And remember you need consistency, that the brain learns through repetition. This is your avatar. The brain is your projector of consciousness. It's creating everything. So you've got to take care of your body and your mind. And if you want a different reality, you have to become a different version of yourself. It is reflecting you because you are creating it with what you feel. So trust yourself. Choose the frequency, the emotions that you want to feel, and then take action towards the things that you want to create, that you want to express. So that was tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed that and learned something from it. And I am not going to have an episode next week because I am going on holiday. So I will be out of pocket, which I'm very excited about. So I hope you guys have a good couple of weeks, and I will see you next time. Let me mean it. Bye.